if the NFL has taught us anything, it is the fact that you can make your mark on the league at 22 or at 40. So that's what we're going to go through today. We're going to talk about each age and who is the best player at each age. Now I'm going to go from 22 all the way up to 36 because once you get outside of 36, it becomes like one or two guys. There's no point in talking about them. So obviously you got the Aaron Rodgerses and all that stuff that are not included in this video, but they're there. We're just going to 36 today. Also, final disclaimer, I realized during my final part of my research for this video that some of these guys might actually be a year older than I'm going to talk about. So it might not be a 100% accurate list, but it's going to be pretty damn close. So just bear with me, and if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, for age 22, I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson. Last year, rookie year, he came out, had a great season, 1,400 yards, I believe, and 8 touchdowns. But he's only going to get better from here, and I think he should be a focal point of this current offense with Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix if he ends up taking over at some point. But Bijan is great. There was a lot of really good talent. If he wouldn't have been hurt last year, I probably would have gone with Anthony Richardson, who's also 22. But he got hurt early into the season, so there's no way I could have justified putting him over Bijan. And then you also had guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Jackson Smith-Njigba at 22. So it was pretty good age group. Now, at 23, I'm going to go with Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell is the cornerstone of that Lions offensive line. That is a top offensive line in that league. He is one of the best linemen in the league right now, and I believe he got paid like it or this offseason or a year ago or something like that. But I wanted to give the line some love where I could. You do got some stacked competition at this age, though. You got Breece Hall, George Pickens, Drake London, Jamar Chase, Pat Surtain. You got a lot of really good guys here, but I don't think any of them make as big of an impact without the recognition as Penei Sewell, so I wanted to give him the shout out there. At age 24, I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson. Now, I think Justin Jefferson might be 25 right now, so don't go and behead me in the comments section. But, like I said, for the sake of the video and not wanting to do another 6 hours of research, I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson at 24. Last year, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, but we all know he's the best receiver in the league. It's not a question. You got guys like CeeDee Lamb, Patrick Queen, Jerry Jeudy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins, Jonathan Taylor. It's a stacked age there at 24 or 25. Doesn't matter. Now, the next age, which would be 25, but who the hell knows if any of these guys are actually 25. I got Justin Herbert. Had an amazing rookie year. Struggled with coach problems, but he's got Jim Harbaugh now, and they won their first game. He's looking good. I think he's going to be the best out of these guys. You got Tua, Jordan Love, Isaiah Simmons, Josh Jacobs, and Julian Love are other honorable mentions at the age group of Justin Herbert. But I think Justin Herbert's above all those guys. The only one I think that could be close is Tua, but again, Tua's got health issues with the concussions, and he's got the manner of not being able to show up in the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this and it is Tua, but I'm going to go with Justin Herbert on this one. At 26, I've got two-time MVP and defending MVP, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's defending MVP. What more do I need to say? I mean, he's the best player in the league, so obviously he's going to be the best at his age group. Best player in the league. Obviously, we know that that's not actually him, but he got the award for it. So, you got Nick Bosa, who's amazing. Saquon, who's amazing. Roquan Smith, Jair Alexander, Denzel Ward, DJ Moore. Like, there's a lot of really talented guys, but it's hard to top Lamar Jackson at this age. For the age group of 27, I've got Christian McCaffrey, one of the most dynamic backs that we've seen in a very long time. If only he wasn't injury prone as much as he has been in the last 4 years. He had a great season last year, but starting the season banged up this year and had those years in Carolina. But he's the most dynamic back. He's the best rusher sometimes. He's the best pass catcher sometimes. He'll lead in both categories sometimes. So you can't go wrong picking him as the best. And in his age group, I'm just going to start referring to it as that. You got Derwin James, Curtis Samuel, Joe Mixon, Chris Godwin, Marshawn Lattimore. A good group of guys, but Christian McCaffrey is far and away, in my opinion, the best out of those. Now at 28, you've got guys like Alvin Kamara, Kendall Fuller, Ezekiel Elliott. Granted, I don't know if they're actually still 28 or not. But I'm going to go with Eli Apple. Just kidding. It's Patrick Mahomes, obviously. He is the best player in the league, hands down. I just talked about it with Lamar. Patrick Mahomes is actually the best player in the league. Not even close. There's no argument here. I'm not even going to spend too much time on it, so we're moving on. Age 29, or the age group of 29, you got Tyreek Hill. He's one of the fastest receivers in the league, the most dynamic receiver in the league. He can do it all, and he's great at doing what he does. So he's top 3 wide receiver every season for the last 5 seasons. So he's got to be number 1 at this age group. But you've also got Chris Jones, who just signed a big deal within the last year and is probably one of the better D tackles in the league. And then you've also got Jared Goff, who's doing his thing out in Detroit. And you got Amari Cooper, who wishes he probably had a better quarterback right now. But you got to go with Tyreek Hill. Are you a sports fan? I would only assume you are if you're watching this video. So let me tell you a little bit about the Phantom Sports Discord. The Phantom Sports Discord is built for every single type of fan. Football, basketball, baseball, soccer, you name the sport, there is a section in the Discord for you. There are even specific group chats for each specific team so that you can talk about your favorite team with fans from all over the world. There are also sections built for esports, for athletes to share their highlights, for fitness people to share their gains or meal recipes that they have. And there's even a space for broadcasters to share broadcasting tips, share clips of their broadcasting, and network with each other. All in all, Phantom Sports is building the biggest sports community in the world, and we would love for you to be a part of it. Click the link in the description to join today and have a blast. We also have live events where we do watch-alongs, we do just discussions, and we would love for you to join those as well. Now back to the regularly scheduled programming. At the age 30 group, we've got Mike Evans, and he's got 10 plus seasons of 1,000 yards, and he's got a great quarterback in Baker Mayfield. Looks like he's not slowing down, so I got to go with Mike Evans. But you've also got guys like Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, who has kind of fallen off over the last few years, but he used to be really good when he was in Jacksonville. Stephon Diggs, who just had 2 touchdowns in week 1, and then Nelson Aguilar, who everyone loves making fun of him, but I figured I'd just throw him into this. So Mike Evans, obviously, I think is the best one in that group. Only one I would consider is Stephon Diggs, but I think with the streak Mike Evans has right now, you got to go with him. 31, the age range of 31 is a little bit tougher than most of these because there's a lot of guys who were great in their prime, and they are unfortunately no longer in their prime. So this one is really a toss-up. I would love to hear your thoughts on who you would choose out of these guys is the best. But right now I've got Keenan Allen, wide receiver for the Bears, because he is doing the most right now. He is being the most productive right now. But you've got guys like DeAndre Hopkins, who in Texas or in Houston was best receiver in the league. You've got Tyrann Mathieu, who when he was in New Orleans and Kansas City was great, Pro Bowl caliber player. And then you've got Devontae Adams, who I think he technically would be number 1, but he's on the Raiders and they don't do anything. So unfortunately, he's not going to be number 1 here. If it was just pure talent, I'd probably go with this last guy, Odell. Odell is hands down probably got the best history as far as all these receivers go, in my opinion. He's got that catch, but he's the most popular player in the NFL. You say his name, everyone's going to know him. Not outside of I guess Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Shout out to Taylor Swift for that. But Odell, for the longest time, was the most popular player in the NFL. He was a global superstar. But he is no longer in his prime. He's on the Dolphins right now. Was in Baltimore last year. Did finally get his ring in LA though, which I'm happy he did. He deserved that. But I'm gonna have to go with Keenan Allen. Let me know in the comments who you got out of those guys though. At 32, I'm going with special teams. I'm going Brandon McManus. Now, I'll hear the argument for Kyle Juszczyk Kyle Juicy Juice. But you also got like Cordell Patterson and Jimmy G, which Jimmy G is like a step below after his stint in Las Vegas. I don't even know what team he's on now. But Brandon McManus has been a great kicker for the last, I don't know, as long as I can remember, 5, 6, 7 years or whatever. So I had to go with him. 33, I went with Lane Johnson. A shout out to another line guy. If it weren't for injuries, he probably would be up there for one of the best linemen of all time, left tackles of all time, protecting Jalen Hurts, protecting Carson Wentz, guys like that in their MVP days. So I really do think that Lane Johnson is the number one out of these guys. You got Geno Smith, Dustin Hopkins, Fletcher Cox, Stephon Gilmore. So you got guys that we're starting to get into the past their prime guys. So it's kind of hard to judge what we're basing this off of. And right now I'm basing it off of current impact on their team. Obviously, like a guy like Geno, if he wasn't there, that'd be a big deal. But I feel like Lane Johnson has a bigger impact on the Eagles. 34, I'm going to go with arguably one of the best kickers of all time in Justin Tucker. He's still doing his thing. He's got the record, obviously, which Brendan Aubrey tied in the preseason, and I think he tied it again against the Browns, but it didn't count. So as of right now, he's the number one kicker in the league still until he gets topped. But you've also got Travis Kelce, multi-time Super Bowl champ, Von Miller, who's also a Super Bowl champ, and Julio Jones. So all these guys kind of passed their primes a little bit on the downhill side of their careers, if not done with their careers. But right now, I think Justin Tucker is going to beat Travis Kelce out, in my opinion, personally. And last but not least, 35, or the age group of 35 or whatever, I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford. He's doing his thing. He made it a game against the Lions on Sunday Night Football. Doesn't have as much rushing upside as he did once, but he can still sling it. And I have him beating out guys like Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Brandon Graham, who I think just recently retired. So shout out Matthew Stafford. You are the best 35-year-old or 36-year-old. I don't know how old you are, actually. Well, that is my list of who is the best at each age. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, please don't kill me in the comments if some of these guys are different ages. I was doing the best research I can. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.